Also joining us this afternoon, Chairman ng House Committee on Public Accounts, Bicol Salo Party List, Congressman Terry Ridon. Sir, magandang hapon. Welcome back to Storycon.
Hello po, magandang hapon. Maraming salamat sa pag-imbita.
Magandang hapon, Kong.
Thank you for joining us, sir. Sir, I understand meron kayong pagtutol doon sa yung mga abogadong pinili ni VP Sara para sa kanyang impeachment defense are possible or probable witnesses doon sa impeachment hearings. Can you tell us more about that?
Well, wala lang tayo objection doon sa karamihan except doon sa dalawa, kay Michael Powa at kay Reynold Monsayak lang po. Dahil sila po ay mga matataas na officials ng Office of the Vice President at ng Department of Education. And more importantly, for Mr. Monsayak, I think napangalanan siya during one of the hearings in the 19th Congress na I think binabanggit siya na tried to influence yung pong pagiging back chair ni former Undersecretary Gloria Mercado. So I think hindi ko pwede magsama in one role as a counsel and as a witness / resource person during the impeachment proceedings. Ito po dalawang personalidad po na ito. Si Mr. Powa, ganun din. Siya po yung spokesperson ng Office of the Vice President in the past. At mataas din po yung naging katungkulan niya dyan. So I think dapat hindi ho sila maging bahagi po ng defense panel ni Vice President Sara Duterte.
Pero sir, in practical terms, how does that work? Kasi for example, of course we're not lawyers, pero for example, tinawag as a witness itong isa, whether it's Powa or Monsayak, to be a witness dun sa hearings. As their lawyer as well, can they say that I cannot speak about this issue because of lawyer-client privilege? Ganun ba? Is that how it works? I mean, in real terms, what does it mean?
Pwede kasi yung invoke yun eh. That is our problem. Pagka pinayagan sila to be both counsel and both a witness / resource person. So, hindi dapat payagan. Pero ako, as far as I'm concerned, they cannot invoke client lawyer privilege pagka ang pinag-uusapan na specific to their work in the OVP and specific to their work in the Department of Education. Ibig sabihin, yung pong privilege will only exist pagka they are providing legal advice to the Vice President on what she would do in the course of the impeachment proceeding. So I think the Justice Committee will have to make a decision on the entry of the appearance of the two lawyers po, Mr. Powa and Mr. Monsayak.
It's the Congressman. It's the Justice Committee that has the last word on this. And how does it work? Do you have to vote on it, or it can be decided by the chair?
We will have to deliberate on it. So I think it may be raised during the first hearing pagka nagsimula. So maybe there might be a motion to reject their entry of appearance. Ito pong dalawang mga lawyers po na ito, or they may be allowed to continue on as members of the defense panel, pero pagka sinalang sila as witnesses and resource persons, kailangan po hindi pwedeng invoke yung pong lawyer-client privilege.
On another topic, Congressman, ano yung indicative timeline nyo dito sa impeachment? Halimbawa, Justice Committee, plenary, anong timeline? Nag-lapse na ba yung 10 days?
Hindi pa
na binigay nyo sa hanggang kailan ba yung magla-lapse? Tapos meron kayong break sa March 21, di ba? So, ano yung pwedeng ipahiliwanag nating timeline sa impeachment sa ating mamamayan?
Magla-lapse po yung notice to answer ng atin pong Pangulo pagka po darating linggong ito. So, dapat by Monday, may makuha na pong answer ang House Committee on Justice. At yun po, pagka meron pong sagot, yung complainants, endorsers will be given a few days to give the reply, and the Vice President can then give her rejoinder. So, yung pong timelines na tinitingnan namin to do the determination of sufficiency in grounds and yung hearing proper, I think April 8 or April 18th. Yung po nga pinag-uusapan po naming mga petsa. Doon po sa pagsisimula na po ng hearing proper.
Ang tingin nyo, Kong, gano'ng katagal yon yung hearing proper?
Ano naman ho, matatapos po kami by around the middle to the end of May. Para matapos po itong mga pagdinig po na ito at magkaroon ng committee report and so we can go to plenary ready to vote on it.
April
By June
18.
siguro, can we say na by June,
Yeah.
ready na yung ano nyo for a vote by the House?
I think we would want to be able to finish it at the level of the committee bago po matapos sa sine die ang Kongreso po. No? So hopefully by around June, we will have to vote on it at the level of the plenary na po.
Congressman, can I just clarify? April 18 applies even if she doesn't respond to the NTA, the notice to answer, and was it notice to what is?
Notice to answer. Notice to answer. Pero, hindi. Siyempre, we're still assuming that the Vice President will answer by Monday. No? So, in the event, for example, that she does not, I think ma-abbreviate po yung proceedings. No? Kasi there is no reason for the complainants to reply and for a rejoinder to be submitted kung walang answer. No? So, mas mapapabilis po yung proseso pagka po ganun.
So kung before hindi yung ano nyo, yung vote nyo, at let's presume na mag-vote ang House to impeach, makukuha na yun ng Senado before the adjournment, hindi.
I think that is what the House Committee on Justice would want to undertake. No? Dapat matapos na ho everything within the House bago po mag-adjourn sine die ang Kongreso.
Okay.
Sir, si Congressman Ronnie Puno has already, issued statements about this, and he's asking the Justice Committee to present new evidence in the impeachment case. Otherwise, it looks like the NUP party may not vote in favor of this impeachment. Where does that stand right now, and how would that, if they don't, how would that impact the case?
To be fair naman po to NUP, no? Ang sabi naman po nila, they will vote based on conscience, no? And to be fair to them, during the sufficiency in substance vote, marami pong mga miyembro po na NUP
Ang bumoto.
yung pong bumoto for sufficiency in substance. So I think that is their standing policy today relating to the impeachment. And doon po sa panawagan po nila to provide new evidence, I think yun naman po ang new evidence na pinag-usapan ngayon would be the Salen issue, firstly, and secondly, the Madriaga affidavit. No? So, I think yan po yung mga bagong pag-uusapan as we go into the hearing proper. No? So, what will be subpoenaed would be all the salens of the Vice President from 07 to 24, all the income tax returns of the Vice President and Attorney Manscarpio for that same period as well, and everything else, all the SEC documents of all the businesses that had been stated in that SALN of the Vice President for 2023 and 2024.
Can you order the opening of the bank records in relation to the SALN?
Kasama po yun. So, isa ho sa mga exemptions po ng bank secrecy law,
Yes.
yung pong impeachment proceedings. No? So, hindi lang po yan impeachment trial. So, even impeachment proceedings at the level of the House, pwede pong magkaroon ng coordination with the banks and with the Anti-Money Laundering Council. Para makita po natin yung bank inflows and outflows po ng pong mga related transactions ng mga impeachable officials.
So, Kung, ang tingin nyo, doable yon? Dahil sinasabi kasi dapat lalabas yun sa trial.
The trial
Sa
proper.
Senate.
Trial
Oo.
proper. Tingin nyo sa Justice Committee ay doable yon? Papayag ang AMLA?
Tingin ko naman po, if this is something that is within the exceptions, no, to the bank secrecy law, pwede hong i-undertake po na House po ito. And I'm quite certain the executive agencies, not just AMLAC, but also the BIR and the SEC. Kasi yan po yung mga relevant na panggagalingan po ng mga dokumento po on the SALN. I think they will cooperate naman po with the Justice Committee.
Pero walang president pa dyan, Kong, di ba?
Walang proceeding kasi I think this is the first time
Oo.
na meron po talagang full proceedings at the level of the House
Justice
Justice Committee.
Yeah.
Na talaga pong meron pong pagsisiyasat. Kasi karamihan naman po ng naging karanasan natin in the past, talagang express route to the Senate po yung mga exhaustive proceedings po natin. Ngayon lang po talaga na exhaustive already at the level of the House Justice Committee.
Pero hindi ba yan
This is in
pwedeng maging
compliance with the
basis
Supreme
para sa
Court
Vice President to
ruling.
file a TRO sa Supreme Court? Continuation lang. Hindi ba yan magiging basis para sa Vice President to file again a TRO sa Supreme Court?
Wala naman ho yung Vice President siyempre to undertake all the legal actions that she needs to undertake, no, to defend herself, no. So we will leave it to her if it's something that she thinks will benefit her case. No? Pero again, she had stated that she's ready to confront, no, all of the issues within the impeachment proceedings. So tingin ko dapat hindi ho nagre-resort to Supreme Court cases pagka ganyan po yung initial commitment.
Amy.
Pero yung gagawin nyo is in compliance, hindi ba? With the new Supreme Court ruling on the procedures. Di ba? Mas detalyado yung pag-iimbestigan nyo ngayon. That
Yung
will
po
be in compliance with the Supreme Court ruling, di ba?
ano na ho, tapos na ho tayo dun sa implementation ng both decision and the resolution of the new Supreme Court ruling. Na ano na ho yan, na surmount na ho natin yung mga requirements po nila. So andito na ho tayo doon sa new phase ng full proceedings na po at the level of the House Justice Committee. At the moment, yung palitan po ng mga dokumento po yung pinapatupad po natin at this point.
Sa sarili nyo ng rules yan ngayon, na kung sakasakaling bubuksan nyo yung bank records, sarili nyo ng rules yun of impeachment.
Tama po yun. So, lahat po ng kailangang mga mekanismo para ho masiyasat ang buo yung lahat po ng grounds na binanggit, confidential funds, death threats against the President, SALN, and yung Madriaga affidavit. We will undertake all the full powers of the committee to get to the truth of it.
Congressman, if for any reason you are unable to order the bank records submitted, what is the recourse? Ano po ang balak nyo?
Hindi na naman po bank records yung magiging batayan eh. Noong pong impeachment po ni Vice President Sara Duterte, so even at the level po, for example, ng mga ITR, of payments, VAT payments, for example, ng mga negosyo. Kasi supposedly, on the Salin issue, the Vice President needs to explain yung gap po ng net worth ng 88 million at 2024 doon po sa totality nung kinita niya from public office, which should be around in the range of 30 million to 40 million over the course of 17 years. No? So that explanation for the gap would be taken from explanations relating to ITR submissions of the law office, of yung professional services profit, and yung pong mga negosyo na sinasabi po nila. So, doon ho maipapaliwanag po yung gap po na yun. So, pag hindi yun mapaliwanag through ITR payments and VAT payments, talagang malinaw po yung impeachable ground po on the basis of SALN.
These are, Kong, these are the sinasabing new evidence, di ba? SALN, bank accounts, etc. Pero yung isang new evidence kasi, yung testimony ni Madriaga. Just a week ago, ang sabi, may mga threats kay Madriaga. May efforts ba kayo to protect him or secure him? Dahil isa siya sa new important evidence dito sa impeachment na ito.
Ang pagkakaintindi po natin, there are motions that have been filed by members of the committee, I think particularly by Congressman Jokno, to secure po Mr. Madriaga. So I think the committee will coordinate with the court who has jurisdiction on him and the BJMP para po magkaroon ng talakayan kung pwede po bang ilipat sa House po muna pansamantala si Mr. Madriaga.
But sir, has it ever been done before? Is there a precedent to that?
Hindi ko alam actually. I have to look at the Quadcom records, no? Kung nagawa po ba yan for detained persons na mga nag-witness po sa Kongreso. I think meron pong ganun, but I have to check po if that is something that we had undertaken before.
On another note, Kong, Ano lang status nung parang narinig ko na binabalak last year pa na Quadcom 2.0. Mangyayari ba uli yun, yung Quadcom? Or hindi na matutuloy?
Ano naman po, naka-in place naman po yung Quadcom 2.0, no? Pero syempre, very focused po at the moment yung Congress dun sa respond to the Middle East crisis, no? Impact on OFWs and on the economy in general, which is why we had passed yung pong excise taxes bill, no? For the removal of it or suspension of it. And secondly, tingin ko, focus din po kasi yung mga accountability committees dito po sa impeachments, no? The last couple of weeks, no? Pero I think magkakaroon po ng pagkakataon na mag-reconvene po muli yung Quadcom I guess pagbalik na ho ng Kongreso after the break.
Okay.
Panghuli na lang, Kong. Yung on another note, yung priority bills ng presidente, ano na bang status nila? Halimbawa, yung ICIAC ni Congressman Laila de Lima. Kumalaw na ba yung baso dyan? Yung kayo, bahagi kayo ng party list caucus, no? Ano na status ng priority bill na party list reform? No? Medyo may kaunti tayong alam dun sa anti-dynasty bill. Parang meron din version ang Senado. Pero yung mga ibang priority bills, anong status nun?
I think nasa level pa rin ho siya ng committee deliberation. Yung pong, particularly dito po sa party list reform, no? Hindi ko lang alam kung aabot po ito na makarating po sa plenaryo bago ho mag-bakasyon. Pero yung sa ICI bill, I think papadaanin po ito doon sa mga secondary committees na kailangan po ng pagdaanan po at ma-approve po ito. For example, sa Committee on Appropriations, kailangan po dumaan po muna yan po nga bill na yan. So inaantay ho namin matapos po yung proseso po na yun.
Okay, we'll leave that there. Thank you so much for talking to us today. House Committee on Public Accounts Chair and Bicol Saro Party List Representative Congressman Terry Ridon. Salamat, sir.
Salamat, Kong.
Salamat. Magandang hapon.
Congressman.